Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and I want to revisit something today because when I've looked at it, it's something that really makes me upset at the industry, and it makes me upset at my fellow fitness YouTubers. And I want to point out, if you guys remember this whole Biogro fiasco, remember my back and forth with people, remember everyone supporting it or were quiet about it other than me. Every single fitness YouTuber either didn't mention it, which was a small minority, or most of them got on board and were taking Biogro, telling you guys how good it was. Some people were selling it, some people were using it and telling you it was amazing, were probably being endorsed by it. I was the only fitness YouTuber telling you guys this stuff was junk, it was garbage, it can't work, and there are actual drug risks to it for tested athletes on there. No one else backed me on that. I was the only person who took the ethical stance. And let's step back and really look at that situation for a minute. And when I'm done, I want you guys to stop and ask yourself a serious question about all these people on YouTube who you look up to or you admire for their honesty, or you think that they are intelligent enough to even give you advice when they can't read a label on a product that they put into their body, and they don't even know, by looking at an ingredient list, they don't know enough about nutrition or drugs or anything else to even tell if that product is capable of building muscle or not before they took it and before they endorsed it. So you guys need to step back and think for a minute of how smart or educated about any of this stuff or any of these people you're getting advice from, and are they really honest when you're looking up to them? When you guys look at the Biogro thing, it hit the market by storm. It was the most hyped up product that we saw on YouTube, and at the time it was a lot more. I saw it one time, some of the bottles running up to $70 to $80. Particularly when I was over in the UK, the importation over there, those guys were paying about $80 US per month for this stuff. Everybody was on it. They announced it was going to give certain gains, and it was going to do this, it was going to do that. I looked at the ingredients list and said, guys, there is nothing on this bottle that is biologically capable of putting muscle on you if taken orally. The things that are on here can put small amounts of muscle on you if they're sterilized and injected, but they're not orally bioavailable. There are things on here that will cause you to fail a drug test if you inject them. And it also came out later that WADA said that. They said, do not take Biogro if you're a tested athlete under WADA. The ingredients list on here contains substances that are banned for you to use in sports. They are banned PEDs. Now, what I said was that, so if you took them, you were cashing in your natty status. You couldn't claim natty anymore. And I still pointed out that they still only work, though, if you inject them. It would be like if you drank a bunch of injectable-only steroids, you would still be cashing in your natty card because you took them, but you would just be an idiot because they're not going to put any muscle on you. Now, this company submitted this for testing, and everyone said, oh, look at the testing. They did testing. And I think people didn't look at, they don't know how testing works. If you want to test and see if a substance, and in this case, the colostrum and growth factors that they put in the Biogro, you have a lab isolate those substances and test those substances in human beings. The researchers accepted Biogro as the proprietary blend from Isatori and tested that under good faith that what was on the label, what was actually in there. However, here's the kicker. If the label was actually accurate, then there is nothing in that bottle that if you consume is capable of putting any muscle or strength on you. Let me repeat that. If the label on the bottle is accurate, we don't even need any further tests. We know that nothing on there would have worked. It was not capable of doing anything unless you inject it. When the researchers did tests, it made gains that were amazing. This independent university tested it, and it was something like over 6 pounds of average weight gained. None of it appeared to be fat. So all lean gain in an 8-week period of time. If you guys recall, that is approximately the sort of growth rate we saw in anabolic steroid studies on humans that I've linked in the past for you guys, that gained up to 18 pounds of muscle in 20 weeks on 600 milligrams of testosterone, which is about 4 to 5 times what a 18 or 20-year-old would produce naturally. Pretty hefty dose of testosterone compared to natural produced similar results to that, just spread out over a longer 20-week instead of 8-week period of time. Bench press strength, leg press strength, everything went up massively over placebo. To rule out the placebo effect, it was a dramatic strength increase. Yet there's nothing on the label capable of causing that. What the researchers also noted, there was a side effect that they couldn't explain biologically. The dumb as medical doctors looking at the side effects said, nothing in here is capable of causing this. Our people are reporting they're getting these massive pumps from it. And that is the red flag. You have something that isn't biologically capable of gaining muscle, giving you a specific side effect that also is not capable of doing biologically. In fact, the gains on it were so pronounced that if you think about it, it was supposedly IGF-1 variants and growth factors in the bottle that caused these gains. However, if you injected them, let's say IGF-1, it $100 worth of it every single month. So $200 using that 8-week study. If you actually injected it in the form that it does work in, it still would produce lesser results if used by itself with no anabolics than what that product produced. So the true injectable version of this substance that doesn't work when taken orally still would produce less results than this. There's only one thing on earth that is biologically capable that we know of producing the type of gains that was reported in this study, and that is anabolic steroids. Incidentally enough, what is one of the most common effects and side effects of oral anabolic steroids? Pumps, muscle pumps, cramping and pumps in the lower back when you are training. That was the most common negative side effect reported in the study. The researchers just took the bottle at face value without actually doing a full spectrum analysis to see what was really in it. Now, I'm not saying that a company like Isatori would do something unethical, because they're good, honest people. They're looking out for your best interest, and they have a reputation for being honest and not doing things like this. But when you consider that all these old supplement companies had tons of Superdrol around, which right now you can still get, it's illegal, it's a felony, but you can still find the powder for anywhere between, $5 to $10 per gram out there. I could get it right now if I wanted to. I don't want to, but I could get it for that and have it at my home next week if that was something I really wanted to do. I know the places to get it, and that's what it would cost. That is effectively 100 doses of this substance, so enough to go into 3 months supply of this thing at 10 milligrams a day, which is an effective dose of Superdrol, for about $10. You could make technically, so about $3 to $4 tops of a drug put into each container would produce this effect. And maybe, just maybe, because obviously the company wouldn't know about this happening, but maybe somewhere in the transport, the guy on the truck had an old supply of Superdrol or something that they needed to use up before it went bad, and he was going to dispose of it because it was about to go bad, and maybe, just maybe, he accidentally popped the seal on the container and spilled some of this Superdrol into all the containers that were going to be tested on the lab, and then sealed them back up and maybe didn't want to say anything. So then the researchers didn't know there was Superdrol in it, and Isatori didn't know, and that is the only possible ethical explanation I can think of for the results that this study got. And it's interesting that a lot of people reported similar gains and similar results with the first few batches of this product and were paying a fortune for it. And once it got spread by all the YouTubers, then everyone quit using it because a bunch of people start saying, well, it doesn't seem to be doing anything. So they all quit buying it and quit using it. Now it's died down and it has nowhere near the popularity that it had. But in the meantime, in that first 4 to 6 months that all the YouTubers were pimping it, this company made millions of dollars selling this product. Now, I'm not suggesting that they would knowingly put anabolics in there in order to boost sales and do that, because no supplement company would do such a thing. Very few, in fact, all the ones that have already previously been caught doing this have all kind of been fined and been slapped on the wrist and everything by the FDA for putting anabolic steroids and amphetamines and steroids to cause this exact effect, to get a rush on a market on something and make it really popular and then quit putting the stuff in before they get caught. But when they get caught, they get fined. And I know Isatori is a lot smarter than that, because a lot of companies, at least 6 supplement companies, have been popped for this in the past, and they're smarter people than that. And I think they have better ethics in that. But it is possible that there was some sort of mix-up in shipping, and maybe a guy who was shipping it accidentally did something like that, and Isatori was completely innocent. Again, the only possible explanation for the results we saw there in the laboratory, because the shit on their label isn't capable of doing any of that. Now, what I want to point out again, all these other YouTubers, I called all these people out on it. People got mad at me, they yelled at me, they got upset. Yet every one of them took something with banned substances on the label, tried it, tested it without reading the label, or they read the label and took something they knew is WADA banned, and they're still running around claiming natty. That's bullshit. Number 2, they all promoted a product that if any one of them knew anything at all about supplements or nutrition or anything else, they should have been able to read the label and know that this product was not capable of doing anything. Yet they all backed it. They all tried it. They all promoted that their fans try it and use it. And you guys bought the stuff because of these fucking assholes who are too goddamn ignorant or too greedy to actually read the label and know what they were giving to their fans. And yet people still follow these pieces of shit. And it's really disappointing that we see this in this industry, that we see all of these young men and young women coming to this industry, looking to YouTube for advice from people, and all these guys on YouTube think it's just fine to just bend them over and fuck them. And everyone keeps coming back for more because they think that they're good people, they're honest people, that they're giving them good advice, that they actually know what they're talking about, but they still can't read a label to actually know it's in a bottle or not. and whether it's a banned drug or not, or whether it's capable of putting muscle on you or not, before they promote a product or before they take it themselves. And these are the people that everyone's coming to for advice, and then they also do that, and these are the same people that you're coming to looking for some sort of honesty and integrity. This entire community has a big problem, and it really makes me sad to sit back and watch it happen and watch people just get screwed over and over and over. No matter how many times I try to warn them or tell them, and a few other people try, people just keep getting screwed over and over while these guys laugh their way to the bank. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.